Tried to film this intro so many different times. Like, look at how much of my drink is gone because I think I'm just like a little bit nervous. I think it's because it's something that I've been like talking about with like my friends and family, and something that I've had multiple, if not hundreds of discussions with in my own head. And now that I'm like coming here onto YouTube and sharing what it is, it just makes it feel very, very real. But I am officially starting my corporate job hunt. I think I just made that sound so dramatic when it's really not a big deal. If you're completely new here, I'm Danny and I have been a content creator for the past 4 years. I started mainly in short form beauty, and then 5 or 6 months ago I transitioned into YouTube to start vlogging and just sharing my life with you guys and all the fun behind the scenes stuff and all the little projects I love to create. Out of my entire social media career, I think YouTube was probably like my biggest bucket list item. Really wanted to invest into it before I started looking for a job, because if I didn't do YouTube, I think I would have really regretted it. I am still a pretty small channel, but in my head I feel like I've checked off that box of gaining some kind of traction here on YouTube. So I think I'm ready, not necessarily to go back to corporate, but rather invest into it. I just really feel like I'm in the place where this is going to be like an extension of my YouTube channel. But something that I will acknowledge is I didn't necessarily give my corporate career a fair chance. And I don't think there was anything wrong with me leaving that early in my career. Like, I only worked like a year and 3 months. And I think social media can often seem very silly in a lot of ways, but I feel like I've tapped into so many different areas of like running a business, marketing, even how to write and like talk coherently on camera. I think through my social media journey, and it is like an industry where you have to wear so many different hats, I've really solidified what I'm looking for. And I don't feel like my situation is really that unique. Like, I'm 26, been like 4 to 5 years since I've graduated college, and I think that is something a lot of you guys can probably relate to. This is not going to be a video on like how to get a job. Like, it is just going to be me stumbling and fumbling. I know I'm absolutely going to get rejected by so many companies, and on top of that, probably ghosted even more. I really wanted to share this experience with you guys no matter what happens, and also document it for myself as well. I did in fact create a job application tracker, and I also made it a template that you guys can use as well. If you guys have been on my channel for a while, you just would know I love making stuff like this. I don't know about you guys, because I feel like sometimes doing this can be almost unproductive in some ways, but I just like the reassurance that I'm like getting every single piece of information onto something versus like just randomly checkboxing stuff and emailing people just really chaotically. I just feel like something like this gives me a lot of peace of mind that I'm not missing anything. And of course, like all my templates, I will give you guys a quick little walkthrough. This is my job application tracker. I think the way templates work on Notion is if you click the link to access this template, you can make a duplicate, and then you can edit that duplicate in your own Notion workspace or whatever it is. So on the very top, I included current resume and cover letter template. I'm sure you guys probably have like a designated folder on your desktop or wherever on your laptop that has this information, but just in case you lose it, you can also embed it here. I'm also thinking that this might be helpful because I might make different variations of my resume as well as cover letters. So depending on what job you're trying to apply for, maybe you want to have multiple options, which leads me to this little checklist slash to-do list, which I've titled pre-application tasks. I feel like ever since YouTube, my brain thinks in terms of like pre-production, production, post-production. So that's just where this term kind of came from. But I feel like doing steps before you actually start applying is actually really helpful, so that you're not like scrambling and trying to figure out like all the moving parts while you're also applying. So I just have like really basic stuff like update resume, create cover letter template, update LinkedIn. Honestly, LinkedIn is like the most scary social media platform, which I find really funny to say. And then of course, fill out this application tracker, and then fill out coffee chat tracker, which is right below right here. I have these like little check boxes, and this is when you've contacted whatever person it is, their name, what company they work at, the position, their email, as well as if any like a scheduled chat date. Scrolling down, I have the actual job application tracker. Very similar layout to the coffee chat tracker. It's just obviously for job. Required materials I thought is actually kind of nice, so you're able to see like maybe what's gonna be a pretty quick apply or something that might take a little bit more of your time. So I have resume, cover letter, as well as any questions that you might have to fill out on, maybe they have like their own like application portal versus something on LinkedIn that's like pretty straightforward. A place where you can link the actual job posting, and then response status, which I put quite a few because I feel like who knows what's gonna happen in this whole process, but I have waiting to hear back, no response, rejected, interview schedule, follow-up sent, offer received, which I will wait the day until I can check off that one. Yeah, that's really it. I kept it very simple because I find when it comes to templates, you want to keep it as simple as possible. You don't want to add so many moving parts because it's just going to get overwhelming and you're not going to actually fill it out. Making the tracker was obviously so much fun, but filling it out is like a completely different story. Only thing that I know is going to be like the biggest headache is putting together my resume. I feel like if I were to interview, there is so much that I would be able to talk about in both the marketing and like the business side of things, but trying to put that on a resume in a way that won't get me like immediately feed it out of the system, I think it's just gonna be a little bit tricky. So I'm gonna take today and probably tomorrow as well, just getting my resume ready, as well as like a template for my cover letter. As much as I'm trying to find a job and hoping that somebody will take me, I also don't want it to just be any kind of job. So I'm just really trying to like take my time, pray about it, and hopefully it all works out in the end.
Can I tell you what's on my mind? 'Cause I've been thinking about it for quite some time. Hey, can you give me a moment to declare my love? Can I tell you what's on my mind?
Okay guys, I just feel really rusty. I feel like I'm back in college, going through LinkedIn, seeing like what jobs are out there. I don't know, I'd like to say I am a very hardworking person, but I just haven't, done this for like 4 years. But I made plans to hang out with my favorite little human on this earth. It's crazy to think that she hasn't even been on this earth for even a year yet, but I used to have a pretty good routine of like seeing her at least once a week. But with the holidays, I got busy and then I got sick and then their family got sick, so it's been quite a while since I've last hung out with her. So yeah, I need it. I need to see like her cute little face to make me feel like there's hope throughout this entire process. It's a little bit too early for me to leave, so I'm just chilling in the car for a second, just getting a breather from my desk. But before I go, I did want to talk to you guys a little bit on why the heck I'm even looking for a job. I did talk about it a little bit in a super general sense at the beginning of this video, and obviously all of that still holds true. Like mentally, I am really ready to go back into corporate work and invest into that portion of my career. At the same time, to be just completely realistic and honest with you guys, I'm sure a lot of you guys probably know just how chaotic and up and down the social media industry is. I mean, like TikTok might be banned in a few days. Like I find that even just really crazy to even process. Thankfully, I'm not really on the platform anymore and I'm not really invested into it, so it didn't really affect me that heavily. But that's like very real stuff that like happens in the social media world. You just never know what's gonna happen. It is a lifestyle I really enjoy, but at the same time, it is very difficult to plan anything super long term, especially financially. Like refinancing my loan was like such a big headache. I'm honestly kind of hesitant to talk about this because I think bringing up anything financial related is very, very scary to put out there. I'm not going to go too deep into specifics, but just in general, like me switching to YouTube and pulling back on a lot of my short form content, I'm definitely feeling not necessarily the repercussions, but like the consequences of that decision. I'm not gonna die. Like this is not like some kind of like sob story or anything like that. But I don't know, I just feel very stuck, if that makes sense. I'm not one to like really compare myself, but I think it's fair for me to like want certain things that I feel like somebody my age might have, like a car. I know buying a house is like completely out of the question for like so many people my age. But like the fact that I can't even imagine it as a possibility right now due to my social media journey makes me feel very, very anxious because all of those things require you to go to a bank and have very consistent proof of income. And I would even argue it's even more complicated than that because when I was refinancing my loan, they wanted like information from like the past 3 years. And 3 years ago, I was kind of just starting my social media journey. Like I wasn't making that much money. So sometimes it's not even enough to say like, hey, I'm making this much this year. Like if you don't have like a W-2, it's actually quite complicated, like proving your income to these banks, which is understandable. Like I'm not complaining about that at all. Like it makes sense why those things are in place. So yeah, I've been slowly kind of reaching a point where I'm like, you know what, these are things that I really desire. I don't think that there's anything wrong with me wanting them. It's not like being able to buy that or achieving that is like my whole entire world and will make me feel better about myself. It's just like this growing desire now that I'm 26. I would like to be a little bit more independent. It's not a pleasant feeling that I am relying pretty heavily on my parents. I'm very thankful that they're super understanding that my student loan, which is quite the aggressive plan, like I'm going to be paying it off in the next 5 years. Very mentally taxing, but at the same time, I do want to take like a little bit more responsibility of myself. Like I love my parents, my family. I really do love living at home, but also at the same time, because I love my family, like I want to be able to not have them worry about me. That's kind of where I'm at mentally. I just really want these videos to be as open and honest and raw and real as possible, including the fact I need to go see my favorite little human on this earth. So step one, let's get out of my garage.
Quando o piano já não quer mais tocar e as teclas pretas não saem do lugar. Quando o corno inglês tem que ir pro xadrez porque não tem mais onde ficar. Quando o prelúdio nem começar e a semibreve cansar de quando o trombone não quiser assoprar e os dedos da harpa não vão dedilhar. Quando todo mundo cantar a capela porque a orquestra vai.
Mood overall, she's like so much more smiley, so much more reactive. He is literally so upset right now. I'm like, can you chill? Can you literally just chill for like a second, please? I'm actually running super late to go meet up with my friend. I just really wanted to work out this morning, but my brother woke up a little bit late. Normally I am the one who's never on time for the gym. But let's go and hopefully finish this job tracker like it needs to be done by today. it is actually Tuesday, so almost like 4 days since I've last checked in with you guys. Today is the 21st of January, which I just can't believe how quickly time just keeps flying by. The days just feel super duper short. So yeah, I'm feeling a little bit stressed and maybe a little bit anxious because I am kind of feeling like maybe I should have started this a lot earlier so that maybe by now I would have had something rolling, which leads me to kind of like how this whole job search has been going. I feel like initially when I was going into it, I had this general idea that I wanted to go into something marketing, but as I've been looking through all the job listings and seeing what's out there, I do think I've like narrowed it a little bit down. Not that I'm like blocking myself off to other marketing opportunities, but I think I would prefer something either in a marketing strategy role, something a little bit more analytical or research based, just because I feel like those are the aspects of what I'm currently doing right now that I really enjoy. Like, I just love creating some sort of like unique story or like trying to really think about what you guys would find valuable in a video. Like, even though filming and editing are obviously a very big part of what I do, those are more like the results of where my strengths lie in like the pre-production and planning for the video itself. On top of that, I feel like my Notion template has actually been so helpful in making sure I'm like not forgetting anything and checking off the ones that I've already done and just staying super duper organized. I have been updating it as I go because obviously when I initially made it, I didn't really know what to expect. But as I've been going through the entire process, I'm like thinking of ideas. I'm like, oh, this would be really nice to add. So it is linked in my description box again if you guys want to check it out. Obviously, this is not a video on how to get a job. I'm just, sharing my entire process with you guys. I'm trying my best not to like freak out over this entire situation because I do feel like in a lot of ways it is kind of out of my control. All I can really do is just apply to the best of my abilities. I'm so curious what is going to happen when I actually get an interview. I feel like I'm just gonna be like running around my room going crazy because I can't even remember the last time I have interviewed for a job. Like, it honestly feels like an alternate dimension to me. So yeah, I feel like even that is like something that I need to relearn. It is just so weird doing this at the age of 26. Not that it's like necessarily easier to get a job straight out of college, but it is something that I feel like I am aware of as I've been going through this entire process. I feel like at my age, I should have like a certain quote unquote level of experience. And I know I do have that. It's just like my experience looks very different and it's not in this very structured corporate role. I'm trying my best to like stay positive, open-minded. I am so curious, like if my YouTube channel happens to do like really well this 2025, then like do I just stick with that? Like, I just don't really know what's gonna happen, but I just want to focus on keeping all of my options open. I want to say yes more to things this year and just not be scared to try something new or go for something that's like kind of out of my comfort zone, which this job process has very much been. If you guys also happen to be job hunting 2025, please let me know. I have been spending so much time on LinkedIn, honestly more than I would like, and it seems like it is rough for everyone, so just know you are not alone if you're feeling frustrated and stressed. So yeah, that is honestly all I had left to say. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys hopefully in the next one. Bye!